I've done everything in my power to ruin my father's life. TLDR, my father ruined my childhood, so I made sure to ruin his. He won't be a free man ever again, but I'm freer than ever. Edit. Thank you so much for the awards and support. You're all so incredibly kind. I was a little nervous to post this, but I'm so glad I did. I appreciate you all. My father was always a violent and abusive person. As long as I can remember, I was the primary target of his outbursts. I have 3 siblings, and often I would even be blamed and disciplined, even if it was impossible for me to have done whatever he was angry about. He was also a drug dealer and often had parties on Fridays and/or Saturdays with his mates who, I'm pretty sure, were only his friends to score free drugs and alcohol. One night when I was 8 years old, my father called me out from my room and there was a discussion between a handful of men and him about me. I won't get into too many details about the result of that conversation. All I will say is that from the ages of 8 through until 12, I was offered as an additional service. The violence was worse during this time than ever before, and this could be the fact I was getting older or what he was allowing to occur. I'm not sure. A couple months before I turned 13, I confided in my best friend's mom about what was happening after she noticed some bruising on my arms. She put me in her car, drove me home, and confronted my parents. She came inside with me, got my things, and we left. She took me in. I moved into a granny flat on my own about 18 months later and worked and put myself through high school, graduating second in my year. Just a little brag. I'm proud of myself. For years after I left, my family were still very manipulative. They would steal money, threaten me for money, steal my possessions, etc. For a number of years I kept evidence of my father's racist and homophobic comments on social media. He also asked for me to destroy his fraudulent passport. He used to move countries not long after I did. He's been arrested for assault, and he asked my mother to dispose of some evidence that would prove he used his photo with his brother's information to get a passport. I haven't spoken to anyone in my family for about 8 years. I always remembered the violence, but it wasn't until I was about 23 that I started remembering the rest. It's been an extremely hard few years since I started remembering. But I became very grateful for my survival instinct self. I've kept track of everyone in my family. I've become very good at keeping an eye from afar. But the main thing has been my father. I've catfished him and sent screenshots to his girlfriends. I've sent screenshots of the vile things he says online to his employers, and he's lost jobs. I've signed him up for phone number subscriptions. All quite simple acts. Until I stepped it up a gear. I contacted a local motorbike club who do work for abused children, etc. I showed them evidence I had of all his wrongdoings, including a few messages where he admits what he did. They've been sitting across the road from his house, following him to work, intentionally intimidating him. A year ago I took my evidence of his identity fraud to the police, and he's been arrested and has been refused bail. Regardless of if he serves jail time here, he will be deported to our home country. So, I've been in contact with authorities in our home country and providing evidence. One of the men they've identified and arrested with what I've been able to give them. They're in the process of extraditing my father for the crimes he committed against me. While what he did to me, and allowed others to do to me, won't ever go away, I feel free now that he's not. I have a job I love, own a beautiful home, and live a great life with my supportive and loving husband. Yeah, that's ProRevenge. Good job. Wow. Honestly can't imagine having such a rough life. Good on you for getting out of such a toxic situation. Also, congrats on that second best as well. Might be a candidate for nuclear revenge. I think the pro-revenge is your success in work and life. Despite what you went through. Sorry. Your father was a total pos. Sounds like he will not be physically bother you and more. Good for getting out with your sanity. Good for getting some revenge. You feel proud of yourself for your grades? You damn well should be. To go through something like that and still make second of your class is impressive to say the least. I mean, I had to move out 2 years before graduation. Never had any physical, sexual abuse and barely managed to graduate. Tears of joy. Can't even imagine your situation. Good on you. I'm so pleased you got justice. I hope that your heart heals fully, or as fully as possible. The friend's mom was amazing for saving you from all of that. I'm so happy that you had them. Good for you on getting the help you needed to get out there. And good on you for ruining that monster's life. Must be incredibly vindicating for you to finally take back control from the person who took it from you back then in the first place. Nice work. What a price of shit. Glad you made him suffer, and I hope you continue to do so. Hibiscus, 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 heart, 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 bravo and congratulations. Where was your mother? This means a lot to me. Recently things has happened to me, but legally nothing can be done as it is in the gray area. How did you get past all these emotions to get to where you are today? I am proud of you. You are brave and strong. I'm so sorry you had to live through that. May I suggest are raised by narcissists? Pro-revenge, and getting scum off the streets for a long, long time. You done good, girl. I became very grateful for my survival instinct self. Very powerful self-realization and appreciation. Much love to you and the best present and future for yourself. I hope you get the complete revenge. I hope he and your mother who allowed this. Even if she was an abuse victim of his. She allowed this, so she is as guilty. Feel the wrath of all that is good and holy. I don't think this is revenge. This is standing up for yourself and taking back the life that your father stole from you. He's a monster who chose the life path that he did. It's not your fault what happens to him. You chose to stand up for yourself and see to it that he can no longer hurt anyone else. You did the right thing. You made sure that he was held accountable for his actions. Something that your parents obviously couldn't even do for themselves, let alone anyone else. I don't see this as revenge at all. I see that as a courageous and brave act to stand up for yourself and protect yourself from him. My mother let her ex-boyfriend rape my sister at 13 years old. I was laying in the same bed as he was raping her. He put a gun to my 6-year-old little head and threatened to kill me if I didn't go to sleep. Not one adult in my family stood up for me or my sister. My mother was a disgrace and is a sorry excuse for a mother. I have nothing to do with her. My dad lived in a different state and my grandparents didn't press charges. So a rapist and a pedophile got away. So he could hurt more little girls. Simply because no one stood up and held him accountable for his actions. So I commend you for being courageous and brave enough to do what had to be done. Even if it was terrifying. Good work, carry on.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epicaricast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.